Hello and welcome to the Moraine Valley Judo Academy. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the Academy's mission statement. All right, Judo is taught in a safe space where each session is physically challenging and the curriculum is geared to progressively increase Judo skill in a thoughtful and organized way. All right, so let's talk about Judo taught in a safe space. Free of injury. I've created a progressive curriculum to mitigate injury, just to reduce the entire risk of it. Inclusive and tolerant, don't care what religion you practice, where you hail from, none of that. In this dojo, we're here to learn how to be physically fit, right? To learn how to develop a community where people work together and to take part in a positive culture. No posturing. White belt through green belt curriculum, it's not competitive. We're not interested in who the best in the class is in terms of like their physicality or their aggressiveness or anything like that. White belt through green belt is about learning, because white belt to green belt is where you develop the habits for your foundation. And if you have bad habits in your foundation, then you have a weak foundation and your glass ceiling is going to come real fast, right? So white belt to green belt, all about learning. No bullying and harassment. We don't allow it. We just, we don't have any tolerance for it. Yeah, we can coach to it. You know, hey, that behavior isn't acceptable in this dojo. You know, don't do it again. This is the reason why, right? We can have those conversations. But if it's very apparent that the behavior isn't going to change, then maybe this just isn't the dojo for you, right? Next. All right. Each session is physically challenging. It's going to be a physically challenging session. You're going to have a dynamic warm-up. We're going to have strength training. And the strength training is going to be tied to the muscles that need to be developed in order to practice Judo. Technique training, yeah, not lecture. We're going to break up our techniques into segments and into individual movements. And think of like a high intensity training format, right? But not so high intensity. But we will constantly be moving. Judoka are going to be tired at the end of the session. You can expect for the gi to be soaking wet with sweat. Like that's going to happen. Sparring. So in our white belt curriculum, we're going to limit our full-on sparring to groundwork, right? Because the standing techniques can be dangerous at first, right? So we want to make sure that we develop a strong base, and we want to make sure that all of our group is ready to be able to practice in a safe way. It's not to scare anybody to say, oh, you know, Judo is just so dangerous. But, you know, sometimes as human beings, we can become a little overzealous and maybe try for something that's not there and maybe hurt ourselves or hurt our partners. And that's exactly what we're trying to avoid. Instead, for standing techniques, what we'll do for white belt, yellow belt, we will train in scenario-based situations where we have our grips, we break our grip, we position our opponent in the best position where we can find success in our throw, and then we execute the throw. And we do it over and over and over again. This way, so that way when you are ready to randori, you don't break a grip and then not really know what to do, and then try for something that is only going to half work. It might hurt yourself or your opponent, or I should say partner. And then cool down. Yeah, so in the white belt curriculum, we're going to focus on lengthening the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments. In order to pull off Judo throws, there is some physiology that's going to need to be addressed. So again, each session is thought out this way, so that way it can be physically challenging, and then we can cool down the body and make sure that the body is in a good position for recovery after our sessions. Next is curriculum geared to progressively increase judo skill in a thoughtful and organized way. Each session builds upon the next. Our strength training begins to prepare us for a throw or a grappling escape that requires physical training. And we're going to train and build and train and build and train and build, so that way when it comes time to learn a technique, our bodies are prepared to be able to successfully execute that technique. Oh yeah, and let's talk about when students eventually advance to a level where they fight with their partners and each person applies what they've learned, right? So after you've been in the program for a year, right, and you're standing and you're sparring with your partner, you're gonna know how to play judo in a positive way, where you are positively looking and searching for opportunities to make your attack, and your technique will be sound, and your partner will know what's coming, and they will do their best to counter you, instead of just being deadlocked in grips and nothing really happening except both of you getting super tired and fatigued and not accomplishing much. Let's see here. All right, yeah. I want to thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope that you'll follow us on our Facebook page for all of our communications regarding the opening of our dojo and all of the other content releases that we do release on the Facebook page.